Hello friends and welcome. I wasn't going to make this video, but a lot of you were asking for it, so I'm going to quickly flip through. This is Naga Siren here, by the way, if you don't know. My camera's blocking it. I'm going to quickly flip through the screens. You can pause, copy them as you wish, and I'll be honest, that's pretty much what I did. This is Thunder Predator down here, by the way. Most of mine are copied off of Cinderins. I recommend you guys do something similar. Find a pro or an analyst that you think is smart and just copy what they have for all of this. This is Faith Beyond on LGD here, because their job is to keep in touch with the teams, the players, the meta, all of that, and they have more time to do that than I do. So I just kind of go off their opinion. If you want, Reddit usually compiles like a list of everyone's predictions. You can find the averages or like all the different people you like. So that's kind of it. If that's all you wanted to see, you're good to go. If you're curious, though, I can quickly explain some of the philosophy behind some of these categories so that going forward, if you'd like to try to predict your own stuff, you can. Most picked, most banned, this tends to be pretty obvious. People that you think are looking pretty good. Most banned is like the most broken hero you can think of. Most picked needs to be hero that's pretty good, but not into that realm of super broken hero like Weaver. You want someone who's like, usually who's got flex value and is like a consistent performer who you can pick in the early phases of the draft. And then that's kind of what Tiny is. Tiny can be flexed in the 4 position. He's not as good as he used to be, but right now he can also be pretty much played in all the core roles. And I bet you'll probably see some teams play him in the 5 role as well. So that kind of shows his flexibility, and that's who tends to get picked a lot. Hero with the highest win rate, you actually don't want the most broken hero because people figure that hero out, and also worse teams play that hero and then they lose with him. You want heroes that are good, but really good in certain games, aka cheese picks, because then they only get last picked in games where they're pretty much a guaranteed win, and that's what gives them a really high win rate. And it also keeps their games played relatively low, at least 5 or higher. But that way you like win those games and you don't like push it too far, you know, because the more games you play, the more likely the hero is going to lose eventually. Highest kill average, usually someone who like burst heavy and pops off, comes online fairly quickly. That's Tiny right now. Hero with the highest assist average, it's usually a global ability hero. Silencer's looking really good this year, but Spectre, Zeus are very common picks as well. Anti-Mage for this lowest death average. This category tends to be a farming hero that the team tries to protect. A 4 protect 1 kind of hero, and whether they win or they lose, they just tend not to die very much. That's, you know, Anti-Mage. Hero with a last hit average, a strong late game carry, farms very heavily, might be illusion based. Illusion based heroes are quite popular for this category, but Medusa is also very good. Naga tends to win this category a lot, but this year she's also being played as a support, which would lower her last hit average, so that's why I went with Medusa. Highest XPM, you want some kind of mid lane hero who's going to pop off and end the game quickly. So someone like TA tends to fit that bill very well, because if you are popping off, you have a very high XPM, and then you end the game, so then you cut off the XPM counter. The longer the game drags on, the longer this drags on as well, and lowers the XPM. Heroes with the most kills in a game, again, kind of similar with this category, tends to be someone who pops off and has a lot of mobility, something like Storm Spirit, to get around and get all those kills. And Naga Siren wins this category a lot. The most lasts in a game. It tends to be someone who can drag the game out for a really long time and farm safely, even a very tough game. And that usually means illusions. Arc Warden is another popular pick for this. Terrorblade, those kind of heroes. Teams, I don't know nothing about this. LGD is honestly probably the more popular team to win, but I kind of like EG a little more, no offense guys. But that's why I went with EG. But if you picked either of these two teams, no one would blame you. OG, somehow they do it every year, the last 2 years anyways. And we're actually going to stop there, because if I list any more teams, I know you guys would be like, how could you not mention this team? I know there's a lot of good teams. You never know who's going to win TI, guys. But if you don't know anything about Pro Dota and you're just trying to get points, LGD is probably your safest bet. And then with all this other stuff, I have no idea, guys. I don't know enough about the teams, different play styles, really, to give you guys a super detailed opinion, more than like a pro or an analyst could give you. But they're kind of self-explanatory. You're looking for like aggressive teams, heavy farming teams, teams that coordinate very well. Teams that go further in the tournament tend to do better in these categories, so that's why you'll see a lot of like EG, LGD repeats in these between different people's predictions. Shortest game, you're looking for a high aggression early game team, and you're looking for them to play a team that is like weak to that, and that's usually like who's going to get this category. Most different heroes, a flexible team that's going to go late in the tournament, and then unfortunately this category is usually for a team that's going to get knocked out in groups. That has a very conservative playstyle. They tend to pick the same things, and then they lose quickly because that means you don't get to play as many games and pick as many heroes. No offense to Thunder Predator, Cinderin did. I'm blaming him. You know, some team has to be here. Sorry, but yeah, that's what that category you're looking for. So a lot of this stuff is very self-explanatory as well, so we're not going to explain it. And I don't know the players well enough to really feel confident in telling you guys that. In this category, it's usually one of these middle two, depending how you're feeling. I'm a little cynical this year with all the COVID complications. I'm wondering if some teams are going to have really poor performances and we'll end up with a more 2-0 series sort of deal. But usually one of these two middle categories, safe bet. Dota's pretty balanced. So we have a lot of heroes picked and banned. 100 plus is not that crazy. Most combined kills, take your best guess. This is about right. It's hard to get higher than this, guys. That means you have to have like 2 kills a minute, and that's pretty crazy. Long games happen, but they tend to be very safely played, so like they don't end up with a lot of kills. Most kills tend to be like bloodbath, middle ground games, and so that's usually around here. Longest game, it's usually always above 60. There's always a game that goes that far, and so 80 to 89, pretty reasonable. You're kind of taking your best guess on what you think is around here for the longest game. 15 minutes, very safe guess. It's very hard to end the game earlier than that, even with a very fast tempo lineup with like Zoo Meta, Beastmaster, stuff like that. 15 minutes is around the time you'd be breaking high ground, and that's when a team will give up. Doing it before that, really tough. And this is TI, best teams in the world, so I don't really expect anyone to like Shadow Amulet, break their items like GG, run down mid to end the game earlier, so, you know. The record at TI, I believe, is 36 kills or 33 kills by Sumail on Tiny. I think that's still right. So 26 plus, not that crazy. And then, yeah, the rest. Blah. Okay, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Like I said, I don't know these that well. I just kind of copy what other people said, but there's the video. Thank you. Bye.